Tinfoil hat. Oh, what the fuck are you guys even talking about?
Global controls will have to be imposed, and a world governing body will be created to enforce them.
Welcome to Tinfoil Hat. We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Are you ready to get your mind blown?
Good morning, Swarm, and welcome to Tinfoil Hat. You know I am. You know I'm here to do. I'm here to rock. As always, Xavier Grail, and on the ones and twos, Jay Nice, Juicy Johnny, J Dog, Johnny Wooder. Guys, a lot going on in the world, but we're happy to be here. Guys, if you want to see me live, tonight, whenever this comes out, either tomorrow night or tonight, I'm go down a little bit. Yes, go down a little. Nope, other way, buddy. Other way. There you go. There you keep. Right. I'm in Flagstaff, Arizona on the 21st. I'm in Tucson, Arizona on the 22nd. And I'm in El Paso, Texas at the Rose Bar. It's the Rosewood Bar. Sorry, I got to change that. Guys, grab your tickets now. Let's go. And then Summerfield, I am signing the Chaos Twins. We're doing a comic book signing / conspiracy comedy podcast with the Nephilim Death Squad guys and some stand-up comedy. Go to SamTripoli.com for those dates. And we also have a lot of other great stuff going on. Guys, we're very excited to have these guys on. They have a great podcast called Cult of Conspiracy. And please welcome Jacob and Jonathan and Jacob, depending on who is the alpha. I do not know. How are you guys?
Doing
awesome,
great, brother.
Man.
Okay.
And I would say, as far as who's the alpha, it's a solid 50-50, bro. We complement each other very well. We go against each other very well. Jonathan and I have very different viewpoints on so much shit, but we usually come to the same conclusion from very different starting points. And I think that back and forth is what makes our show what it is.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So real quick, tell each one of you guys in order, however you want to go. Tell us a little bit about yourself and where our listeners can find you.
So my name's Jonathan, and we started this Cult of Conspiracy podcast about 4 years ago. And we covered just so many different things, all the different conspiracies. We cover a lot of weird spiritual aspects. I'm also a licensed hypnotherapist. I do past life regressions and stuff. So I look at a lot of this stuff from like the spiritual kind of, for a lack of better term, woo-woo angle. And that's where me and Jacob kind of, we look at things in a very different way. He comes at it. He's a good Christian soldier, and
Young
I look from
Christian warrior. We come to fight. We fight for love. That's gonna be on my new when I put all my jingles together. That will be one of my songs.
Hell yeah. But with that, I'm very clear about the fact that I am a horrible representation of what a good Christian should be acting like and looking like. And I mean, I wear that on my sleeve. God made me a sinner. It's a whole thing. We'll talk about that later. But I am also a Marine Corps veteran, and I served and I was stationed in Washington, D.C. for a while. I have gone into industry, and that's kind of where I've made my bread and butter happen. But having a Christian background and having a veteran background, I look at the conspiratorial world from a very boots on the ground or real world look at things. Jonathan looks at things from a very metaphysical and very outside perspective, outside of the box thinking, looking in kind of thing. So us looking at things from these different vantage points, again, acknowledging the bullshit where we see it, calling out the global elites to whatever name you want to put on that, choose your flavor. That's what we find our passion in. And it makes for a fun show, man.
Well, I love it, dude. I'm a little bit of both you guys, as I go down my journey, Christ in my life, God above all. And then I just wonder, is there, I talk about this a lot in the show. I'm sure some people might be getting tired of, but, can you be Christian and have mysticism? That's the question. Can you have both? Can we manipulate energy? Is the changing of water to wine mysticism? Is the walking on the water mysticism? Is it feeding the masses with loaf of bread and fish? Is that mysticism? These are questions that I have no problem with asking, and I really love what you said. I believe it's Jacob, right? The NASCAR guy. Okay. I love that because, you know, I do this show on Rumble called Doom Scrolling. And one of the videos that I'm about to show is a guy talking about, you know, when Jesus on the cross with the two thieves, the one thief's like, hey, dude, do some magic, get us out of here. And the other thief is like, no, dude, we're here because of what we did. He's here because of and he did no sin. And he, you know, Jesus tells the guy, you know, just you got to believe and you're saved. And that to me resonated, really hit me pretty hard today. Hit me
Absolutely,
pretty hard.
It says multiple times in the book, but one that I love so much, if you have the faith of a mustard seed, you can literally move a mountain. I don't know if any of you know what the size of a mustard seed is, but you drop a pinpoint on a piece of paper, that's about the size of it. And that doesn't, you could put that to the biblical terms, of course, but honestly, even having that much faith within yourself to accomplish a task or to get something done. So many people these days don't even have faith in themselves. They think they can't do it. They can't achieve, name your thing. But it's like, dude, if you don't even have the faith of that much within yourself, then like, no, you can't accomplish anything. But a little bit can go a long way if it's put in the right direction.
And going back to what you were saying earlier, Sam, I mean, as far as can you have Jesus and also, you know, dabble into the mysticism? Well, I mean, people definitely within a lot of spiritual thought will say that they are one and the same. I mean, the story behind Jesus, all the lost years, him even quoting and saying that you'll be able to do all these things that I have done and more one day. I mean, that's the way I look at it is looking at it by his works, and for that quote to come out of his mouth. And then also, what was it? If therefore thine eye be single, then your whole body should be full of light. Like, what did all these things mean in the Bible? And that's what I'm interested in. I want to know how he was able to do all these things.
No doubt. And then also to that point, can you have both the mysticism and the Christian aspect? Look, alchemy, aka what we now call modern medicine, 500 years ago was called witchcraft. That's why the caduce is the symbol that it is for the medical field. That was looked at like some sort of dark magic, using herbal remedies to cure headaches and shit. These days, we just call that, you know, medicine or herbology, and using the shit that God gave us to cure us of our ailments that we come up with. So when you say, can you have mysticism and Christianity, where do we draw that line on what is and is not classified as mysticism? Because to another point, electricity, we don't know what it is. We know how to manipulate it. We know mathematically how to make it do what we want. We know how to utilize it to our advantage. But because I'm also an electrician, we actually don't understand what electricity is at its principle. We just know how to manipulate it. Take that to 2,000 years ago, that would appear to be full-on spiritual magic to somebody who didn't know any different. So where do we draw that line of what is and is not mysticism and what is and is not of God?
Right. Yeah. And that really brings us into what we're trying to kind of dabble into today with the Shroud of Turin. And I mean, it is one of the most magnificent things that anybody's ever looked at, whether you're, you know, a Christian or otherwise. It's still like nobody's been able to recreate it. It is like it's been passed down like from all these different hands, and it's gotten in burned buildings, and people have tried to kind of take it to these scientific labs to try and break it down, and even they weren't able to do it. And it
is the most heavily scrutinized artifact in human history.
Yes.
All right, so let's get into that. Let's start with that. This is a great topic. It's always fun when you're 759 episodes in and you got a topic that you haven't talked about. So these are some of my favorites. So let's get into what is the Shroud of Turin?
All right, let's talk about this, man. So the Shroud of Turin, in and of itself, what is it? We're going to talk about the history of it, what it's made of, the controversy surrounding it, a little bit of the historical precedents, and then we're going to break down some possibilities as to what and how it made the image that it made. All right, so let's go. A shroud, or a death shroud, more commonly referred to, is a cloth that a person is buried in. You could see this in multiple cultures around the world. Have you ever seen Braveheart? The scene where his wife died and they had her buried and put up. She was wearing a shroud. It's just a really thin cloth that you would put over a body. And again, multiple cultures around the world, some connecting, some not, do a version of this in one regard or another. The Hebrews were no exception. The shroud in question is currently kept in Torino, or Turin, Italy, in the Piemonte region. Sorry to any Italians out there if I butchered the pronunciation. I'm like extra white. I can only do so
We'll
much.
allow it.
All right. Good deal. It's in the northwest region of Italy, hence where it gets its name, the Shroud of Turin. It has been housed at the Cathedral of St. John the Baptist in Turin since 1578. It still currently resides there to this day. Okay. Now let's talk about what the shroud is made of. Like, just breaking it down to a bare bones minimal level. The shroud is made out of cheap materials. Yes, very common fibers that you would have been able to find very readily available, but are rare and in an expensive way. Okay, they're made this, the cloth itself is manufactured this way. Think of like a high dollar hoodie or like some really high dollar jeans. Okay, they're made with common materials, but high quality. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And this is done in a certain pattern that is woven into it. So the cloth is woven into a 3-in-1 herringbone twill. That's not necessarily important, but it is actually brought up a couple other times, and I thought it's interesting to make a little caveat to mention it now. This is a rare pattern for the time period, and there's only one other example from history that we have found, because again, cloth doesn't keep well, right? It's very hard to keep some piece of fabric for 100 years in a closet, let alone 2,000, right? So we only have one other example.
We're talking like one of one or one of two.
Of this pattern, we're talking maybe one of 50. This shroud itself, though, is a one of one. Well, the other example is from a cathedral in Egypt that the Romans occupied, and some of their materials are found later on, this herringbone twill pattern. And it also dated to the 1st century AD Rome. So historical precedence lines up across the board to how it's made, materials it's used, all the things. Now, the pattern shows, like I said, also in the Hungarian manuscript in 1192. This Hungarian manuscript, I'm going to make a couple of mentions of it because it also shows a burn pattern that's very indicative of this. There's L-shaped burns in the shroud. There's 4 of them across the thing, which means that at one point in time, the shroud was folded into fourths. We're going to talk about where those burns came from a little bit later.
You're talking about like this?
I tell you what, if you want to look up the Hungarian manuscript 1192,
okay,
that will
let's
show
have
the
fun.
depiction.
Let's watch XG spell this. Here we
Hungarian
go.
what?
Manuscript 1192.
1990 what? 92? Something like
1192.
There we go. Hey, buddy, you crushed that. Good job.
Crushed
dude.
it. You see that?
You did that. You did it.
All right. That pattern right there, you see that zigzag up and down with the holes burned into it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the image right there where your cursor's on. That is the actual picture of the Shroud of Turin itself, the actual burn marks. Over here, the manuscript, you'll see this paintings, these images. These are showing the shroud itself with that same burn marks made and the up and down herringbone pattern shown. So we know that those burn marks are at least predating of 1192 when this manuscript was made.
Hold on. So when you say the herringbone, am I pronounced that correct?
Yeah, I think it's like the fish.
Go back to that.
Okay.
Please, Xavier. Go back to that thing. Are you talking about that kind of like
that zigzaggy up and down
there? This?
Yeah. So if you look at the Shroud of Turin under a microscope, you'll see that it is woven in that pattern.
Okay. All right. That looks like some kind of lawn furniture.
Kind of, right? But at the same time, most clothing wasn't woven in this pattern.
No, I got you. But
know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
it's very interesting.
But I mean, there's only so many ways to weave.
So is the whole thing like that, or just parts of it?
The whole thing. Now, again, to our naked eye, you couldn't see it, but if you got close, you would be able to see how the weavings is done. And the entire shroud is done in this 3-to-1 herringbone pattern. So, and again, if you, the L-shaped burn marks in the shroud are shown in this manuscript. So we're going to talk about how and why those came about here in a bit. But as of now, we know that those burns at least were on the shroud predating 1192, that's pretty interesting that they even mentioned it in the manuscript. You know what I mean? So anyway, the dimensions are currently 14 feet 6 inches by 3 feet 9 inches. Now I say currently because it actually was stretched out in 2002 by the Vatican to put on display. So some of the wrinkles and some of the folds that would have given way a little bit. And it was also steamed, which took away a lot of the ability for carbon dating to be redone correctly, because the number one rule.
Would you say that was done on purpose? You don't think the Vatican knew that doing that would mess up the art in a way?
It's very possible. Now, to say that the Vatican tampered with materials, I mean, look, there's tons of historical precedents for this shit. Yeah, but I could also, looking at it, head in the clouds and feet on the ground, I could also see them wanting to steam it out to get a flat and perfect image of it. But at the same time, anybody who does anything with clothing will tell you the number one rule for keeping clothes stored is do not steam it. Because the heat plus the water, which is a natural oxidizing agent, can only do one thing, and that's start the denigration of the cloth. So take that how you want it, for sure.
All right. It's interesting. You don't know what is the perspective of the Vatican. Mm-hmm. Are they friends? Are they foes? What are they hiding from us? What's the real purpose? It's just kind of crazy. And again, it just gets into this thing where like the base of most religions are really good people. It's this high concentration of satanic worshipers that seem to infiltrate all these different organizations. And then we have an interesting question about that. As Absolutely. A mystic, right? As somebody into the woo-woo, do you have an interesting thoughts on the Luciferians, the Satanists and all that stuff? Is that misunderstood stuff? Is that, satanic panic in your belief, Jonathan?
So as far as I do believe that there is representation of people going out of the realm of what is possible and bastardizing it. So they'll take something and they'll do the exact like reciprocal of whatever good is. And you kind of see that with, for instance, anybody who's ever seen a picture of Jesus, he always has the two hands or the two fingers going up and the other hand pointing to his chest. And then you see the picture of the Baphomet, who has the two fingers up and the two fingers down, as above, so below. Jesus was trying to say, as above, so within. And so there's the bastardizing concept that maybe the dark arts is really trying to get into, like some kind of mirror demon dimension or something.
Inversions.
Right.
And you find symbols like that all over the place. Sculptures done from way back when, these sculptors in these secret guilds that knew the secrets of how to work with this material, Masonic or not, right? Stonemasonry. They would know how to put certain symbols into their artwork or into their art, their craft, if you will.
Yeah, I find it it's like really, really interesting, all of it. Like what is good, what is bad, is everything that is esoteric, let's say, or occult, is it all bad? All of it? Every part of it?
I'm just getting back from Europe. I took pictures of a lot of the things I came across. You're just walking in the park and there's a statue of Pan, like just goat boy there with this the really sick looking family, like in this black iron, like reaching out for something in the distance. And there's a child. And Pan is kind of floating them along, like move. And I have no idea why it's there. I tried to find information.
Why is it there?
It's weird, dude. It's weird. And then I was in the Louvre for a while, and we went on a tour, and so much of the art is just dark. I mean, and it's not really explained why. It's just really menacing. And I'm not talking about the religious paintings. Obviously, they're depicting things from the Bible, but I'm just talking about the imagery, like in the building itself, the gargoyles and all that shit. It's just really like babies looking like they're just in pain, like above, like all. I took pictures of the faces. We'll talk about it in Broken Sin, but
bro, there's when were you in Paris?
Just last week. Yeah.
Okay. Hold on. Couple of questions. One, you said you went to the Louvre. Did you see the Mona Lisa?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was.
Were you as disappointed as I was?
Yeah, it was. I like. There was another painting. that I liked better from the same period, which I
What's
think
the
it's called-
disappointment? What would you expect?
Bro, it's the size of a fucking textbook.
Yeah,
they
it's not
make it out
big.
to be some grand thing. Like, yo, it's tiny.
It's funny
Which
because
one
they do
is?
this.
Which one's
The Mona
tiny?
Lisa.
The Mona Lisa.
Oh,
Yeah, and they
really?
do this funny.
Really small?
No, not like a
No, I
novel,
mean,
but like a textbook. Like,
Yeah,
you know.
Oh,
They do this thing in the room too, which is they have it opposite this massive painting. I mean, that just takes up an entire wall, which I guess they're trying to prove a point by that. But no, there's another portrait. I think it's called Portrait of an Anonymous Woman, possibly. That I liked better. Let me see. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, here it is, right here. There's this other Da Vinci painting that apparently would be. It's Portrait of an Unknown Woman. Sorry, that would apparently be more popular than the Mona Lisa had it been stolen. And you know, the whole thing about the Mona Lisa, it got stolen in the early 1900s by some Italian guy. It's kind of revenge for the French stealing all their art, and that is what put it on the map internationally. But this other painting, apparently, you know, just for example, as an example of his technique and ability, Da Vinci's, is superior. And I thought it. I mean, and you can get close to this one because nobody gives a shit about it. It wasn't stolen. It's just all about stories, right? But yeah, there's just so much imagery and all of the. I mean, just so much like symbolism. And the guy who gave our tour was, I mean, just this brilliant. I guess he's like a professor locally or something. And apparently, people were so much better educated around that time about symbols, and so much better educated about the Bible that they knew where to look in paintings for symbols and how to interpret them, and that there's a whole language that we're just missing in art when we see it today. And so, you know, it just kind of strikes us as
No, it was like that thing you mentioned, Johnny, where the guy had his fingers like that. Remember you said it meant something to them, but we had no idea.
Oh yeah, that was another one, another Da Vinci.
Oh, like was that the slitting of the throat or something?
Yeah,
Johnny?
it was just it's this larger painting with John the Baptist and Jesus as babies in this hypothetical meeting when Herod was killing, you know, the infants, and you got Mother Mary kind of pushing pushing John the Baptist toward Jesus. And then an angel is there with her like a finger like this, you know, right, kind of like pointing right at neck level for John the Baptist, you know, who was beheaded. And apparently that was kind of something everybody back then would have known, and it kind of it galled the church. They hated it, and they made him do it again. He did it as kind of a protest. And there's another version of it that's in England that they have now that doesn't have any of the hidden imagery, and it's just a regular painting of that imaginary scenario. Hey guys, so we're going to take a minute to talk to you about sex. 15 minutes or less. That's great when you're talking about pizza delivery. You know when it's not great? When you're talking about your performance in the bedroom. That's why we've partnered with our friends at Joy Mode. Gone are the days of sketchy gas station erection pills and the worst kinds of side effects you can imagine. We're talking about heart problems, 4-hour erections, and possible trips to the hospital.
Bro, I got a whole bit about it. Okay? I did a whole bit about that. No to gas station boner pills. No. Don't do it. That's right. That's why we partnered with our friends at Joy Mode.
Their sexual performance booster is an all-natural and science-backed supplement to give your disco stick all the tools it needs and nothing it doesn't. Simply mix this wonderful concoction with 6 to 8 ounces of water 45 minutes before sexual activity and watch the magic unfold, literally. Be the new sheriff in the bedroom and go to joymode.com for 20% off with code 10FOIL. That's 20% off and free shipping with code 10FOIL at usejoymode.com.
I've been needing it since my new podcast called Scum and Kick It. I need it. The females coming, so I've been needing this sexual performance. I'm like Sam when he was 18.
Yeah.
It's a new me.
Yeah. Dude, you are, how do you say rock hard in Espanol?
Piedra.
There you go. You are so pedra. That's all I got to say about that. Whether you're happy or unhappy with your performance in the bedroom, why not perform better? Joy Mode Sexual Performance Booster is like pre-workout, but for sex. That's right. Small enough to fit in your wallet and take with you on the go. It's the perfect travel companion. So here's what we want you to do. Go to usejoymode.com and get 20% off the code with TINFOIL at checkout. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code tin foil.
That's right, Sam. You use that code at usejoymode.com. Usejoymode.com. Ingredients with integrity. Joy Mode.
Have you ever read the Divine Comedy?
Yeah, in school. Yeah.
Okay,
Been a long
so
time.
Dante's Inferno. If you read that, bro, and I don't read that as like a true source to what hell is like. I read it to like, all right, this is what a dude living in this time frame thought hell would be at his worst, right? And he brings up these pagan gods, he brings up these certain politicians, he brings up these random references that like, dude, in 2024, it would mean nothing to us. But if you look at the historical time, place, and audience, it makes a whole hell of a lot more sense. And it paints more of a picture. So to your point, a lot of the people of that day and age would have read that and known exactly what the fuck he was talking about. There is so much lost in translation across the board. And that's just yesteryear ago or yestercentury. You know what I mean?
That's like comedians when you watch old comedy specials and they're doing jokes about politicians and everyone's rolling and you're like, I don't know what you're talking about, right? Like that is exactly what it is. It's just
that's why I'm worried Hicks might not
time.
make it.
It was trending for the time.
Yeah, no doubt.
Last question, Johnny, then we'll get back to do you think that those are all the actual pictures, or do you think those are just fakes because of the so that someone doesn't throw, you know?
Well, a lot of the ones that are the most valuable artifacts all have they're covered. You know, there's just like you're not actually seeing the paint on canvas. There's a layer of glass between you and them. But some of it's entirely. I think more likely even, Sam, is that they think they have genuine items there and they don't. I mean, I totally believe that because so much of this stuff is changed hands. You know, the tour guide had this funny little saying about how Napoleon was a bit of a collector as well. You know, really, I mean, Napoleon would invade countries and take all their art. You know, and
dude, he took a whole building.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
There's a whole fucking Egyptian building in Paris right now, in the middle of it, because he brought it down brick by brick and sent it back there. The dude was insane.
Yeah, he had sticky fingers, and he was. I mean, you know, Hitler did the same thing. There's something with this certain type of personality. They love collecting art and artifacts, and some of it they get back, but a lot of it's there. But it's changed hands, like I said, you know, many times. So I think it's possible that it's not genuine, and we've seen. I mean, it's been documented. There's several documentaries about how easy it is to fool these people. You know, if they want to believe, and when in the case of like a really well-known artist, they're going to want to believe that it's genuine, especially if it's been accepted as genuine for a long time. I think it would be easy to fool them. Yeah, for sure.
Next question. Did you go to Notre Dame while you were there?
Yeah, we did. It's still under construction from the fire, though. They're trying to get it back together in time for the Olympics. So you couldn't really. I had been before. I had seen that. But yes, you can't go in. You can't really get that close. It's sad. Yeah.
The damage is that bad?
I don't think the damage is that bad. I just think they need all the scaffolding to get. Because the fire I was reading about it started they think it's either electrical fire or some dipshit left a cigarette in the spire
Isn't
up toward the top.
Crazy? Some
equally possible.
Retard.
Yeah, they're like 50-50.
Ruined history.
Yeah, and
some French dude
terrible.
flicked a cigarette and burned down Notre Dame. That is literally equally as plausible as shitty electrics burning.
And boy, do they smoke there, dude! They smoke. They didn't get the memo on smoking. These sons of bitches smoke like crazy, dude. Not even vaping, just smoking.
Nah, hardcore.
Yeah.
So if you watch iPad Go, that's such a crazy ass video. The Notre Dame fire is in that. It's so crazy. It looks exactly how the fire looked when everybody took pictures of it. And which was even crazier is the picture of Michelle Obama drinking wine. And in her glass, you could see the reflection of the fire. It's like, as much as everybody hated Q, it was some weird ass shit. Like all this stuff just kind of lining up. That was just so nuts.
Dude, we literally just got done doing a show on the description of iPad Go 2 last night. We did a show on that last night.
Oh, it's so good, dude. It's so crazy.
I had never seen it before. I'm actually embarrassed that as a conspiracy head, I had never seen that video before. It was back in 2013 that thing came out.
Yeah.
Wow, shit.
And then like they interview the guy that made it and he's like, I don't know, man. I mean, I just put it together. And they're like, what? Yeah, it's like very mysterious, right?
Could have been channeling it. Who knows?
Yes, I do believe in that. I do believe. Okay, let's get back because right now people are like, get back to the shroud. Okay, where are we
Sorry.
at?
Let's do
No,
it.
it's okay,
All right.
dude. I love that stuff.
All right, back to the shroud itself. Let's talk a little bit more about the dimensions and everything else. Like we said, the original dimensions were actually measured in cubits, but yes, it is consistent with other burial shrouds of the time and era that this is claimed to be from. The original shroud is 0.04 inches thick, and it has a thread count of somewhere between 70 and 120, depending. Keep in mind, this was made hand woven, so it's not going to have the same consistencies that modern fabrics would have. There's going to be some discrepancies. Okay, but that was pretty standard across the board. Each thread is about 200-ish microns thick. Keep that one on the back burner because later when we talk about the image, keep in mind that only goes through 2 microns of the 200 on the threads that are affected. But we'll talk more about why that's important later. XG, is it correct?
Yep.
Earlier you had a picture of the Shroud of Turin pulled up, the actual picture of. Could you pull that up one more time for me, sir?
1 second on it.
All right. There are brown lines on the sides of the shroud that go the entire length of it. This is actually scorch marks from the fire of 1532. We're going to talk about that one in depth in a little bit. It didn't destroy the shroud, but it did leave these scorch marks. Those 2 brown lines that go the racing stripes down the sides of it, if you will. As I'm Mr. NASCAR, yeah, the racing stripes on the shroud. You know what I'm talking about. Keep in mind, dude, I'm from Louisiana, so I could turn the accent on when I want
respect,
to.
dude. Respect.
Fuck yeah. There is also 4 matching L-shaped holes that predate the 1532 fire. Those are the L shapes that we were talking about earlier. Now, again, we don't know where those L-shaped burns came from. We can tell that it means that the shroud was folded into fourths at one point in time. And the best story that we've been able to come up with is that this is from incense that fell onto the shroud during an ecclesiastical rite. Okay. That's the best we could say, but there is actually no written record and nobody has fessed up to who burned the shroud. That just is one of those mysteries. But again, we know that these burns have been there for as long as we have any record of it pictorially depicted.
By the way, if you accidentally burn this, are you going to admit to it?
I get it. I get why.
I don't know, dude. I just walked in, thing was on fire. I'm the hero of this story. I put out the fire. I saved it. You're welcome. Okay, I gotta go. I'm going home. My wife's calling.
No doubt. I absolutely agree, dude. I mean, if I was to be the one that did anything to it, I wouldn't own up to it. But it's actually crazy. Later on, we're going to talk about this. One of the royal families that owned it was cutting off strips of this shroud and sending it to other royals as gifts. We're going to talk about them in a minute. Again, fucking the Italians are wild people, dude.
Yeah.
They're wild people. Anyway, so another famous painting from 1516 shows the holes, again, verifying that the burn marks predate the 1532 fire. Okay, so this painting, 1516, shows those L-shaped burns. This fire, the 1532 fire, was in Chambéry, France. Also, the paintings don't have the scorch lines. So that earlier, the one from the manuscript, you see it doesn't have those 2 dark identifiable lines. Neither does the painting from 1516. So it was caused from the 1532 fire. There are 8 major burns that occurred from molten silver. Long story short, the fire in 1532, it was housed in a silver coffin. The fire got so hot that some of the metal actually went through and the molten silver burned the Shroud of Turin. Trying to remember, the Poor Clare nuns sewed patches over the holes, and these are these 8 triangles that we see on the shroud as we look at it today. Because everybody's like, well, what are those from? There was a fire, silver came, burned some holes, and the nuns got permission at the time to sew on these patches just to kind of make up the gaps. There are numerous water stains, blood stains, not to mention some of the water stains are from putting out the fire, but some of these are from the original wearer of this shroud, notably from around the head, the torso, and the chest cavity itself.
This thing is crazy because I just Googled it myself, and this thing is nuts. How long is it?
Hold on, let me pull up those dimensions. I want to say, because keep in mind, it's one cloth that was wrapped like this, right? So it's like a full man's length doubled over. The original dimensions of it were as it stretched out, 14 feet 6 inches by 3 feet 9 inches.
Was he laying flat? Because there's
Yes.
this thing where he's not laying flat. It shows where he's laying like kind of with his knees
So
upward.
That's not actually real.
It's right. They made a hyper realistic model of what the wearer of this shroud looked like. Now, yes, he's not laying flat, but they did this, and we'll talk about these scourge marks that you'll see in a minute. Actually, you know what? Pull it up. You look at the picture of the shroud and then look at the negatives. There's one right next to it. Yeah.
Listen,
so as you look at
this is the craziest shit. I'm sorry to cut you off.
man.
Looking at this right now, and I mean, I'm sure I'm not the first person to say this, but when you actually look at it, if you go to the Wikipedia of the Shroud of Turin, something really is crazy about this, because what we're seeing, what they're showing us right here is kind of based on this picture, the bottom of the can you find that Xavier? Does it show? Go right there. Where that one right there. Yeah. So they're showing you the bottom of it. I'm sorry, and correct me if I'm wrong, but bro, the top, that looks like the devil to me. Like, it looks really weird. Look at the bottom, has horns right there. Like, look at that. I mean, I'm not trying to throw off anything, but if you look at it, it looks like that's the bottom.
Can you point to?
Oh, no. That's water stains. That's water stains off of his head.
Right here, where like if you go where the bottom, where the top part of his head, right here and here.
Those are blood and water stains. Yes, and actually that's a part of the image itself, because right there, those are his shoulders.
Yeah, those are his shoulders. Then you go to his head.
Right,
and on
there's
the
a
side
gap
of his
where there's
head
another
looks
water
like
spot.
tiny little horns.
Because it's folded. You're supposed to fold it, right?
Yeah, it was folded at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, dude,
interesting though, man.
Really interesting. That is really crazy to me.
Well, the shroud, like I said, is a heavily contested artifact, so much so that, like we said, the highest scrutinized artifact in human history. Because there's a story as to how and where it came from, but nobody wants to agree on it because it verifies too many things that they really don't want to verify. But that's in the eye of the beholder, if you will. You believe what you want.
Okay, are you going to discuss what they do and don't want to verify later? Or can you discuss that?
Well, we're talking about Jesus Christ, right? There's a lot of people that say that, he never existed. He's a metaphorical being. There's a lot of people saying, no, Yeshua of Nazareth is a real dude that walked the earth, but he may or may not have been the Son of God. But if this story is true, and if this shroud can be authenticated, what that proves is that the story of him being crucified, being tortured to death, so to speak, for crimes he did not commit, all of it's verified, which we already knew because all of the documentation from Pontius Pilate, third governor of Judea, absolutely correctly identifies that he washed his hands of the blood of this thing, releasing Barabbas instead of him. All of that's documented. The Romans took notes, man. They were note takers. But people don't want to believe that because we can't believe the written record. You have to see who was the source. Was that guy bought off when he wrote it? There's a lot of discrepancies in that, right? Like Pliny the Elder mentions it. Did Pliny the Elder have a little bias or not? There's tons of that. But this shroud, along with the written accounts and along with the historical accounts, verify that the dude was who and what he said he was. And a lot of people don't like that. But that's neither here nor there. That's up to people to decide for themselves, I suppose. All I could do is provide the truth and the facts. People can take it or leave it.
Now, Jacob, I mean, there's probably a lot of people out there that don't know what the actual Shroud of Turin is. I mean, I really didn't even know what it was up until about a year or two ago. Just going back to, that whole scene where Jesus is brutally, tortured and everything, and then kind of laid into this tomb and then has this shroud over him, this death shroud is typically what you would do. Right. And so people would go back and then was it Mary that went back and found that it was folded?
Yes. Well, that's a part that's mentioned in the Bible, and that's very, very important as well. But again, you're saying this is kind of what would have happened. Yes and no. And there's a little bit of the controversy itself. People think that Well, he's a crucifixion victim, right? And we could tell that from the blood spots that we see on his wrists and on his feet. It's guaranteed whoever was put away in this shroud was a crucifixion victim. And judging by the scourge marks that we can see in the negative, this dude took upwards of 400 different lashings from a flagrum, which, if you don't know what that is, it's a Roman torture whip that has metal, bone, shards, all these things at the end. It's meant to tear flesh from bone.
Oh,
so he took 400 lashings from that and then was crucified to death. Now, here's the thing. Per Hebrew law, if you did something so heinous to be crucified, you were not going to be receiving a traditional Hebrew burial, because you probably also went against the law of Abraham and whatever kind of malfeasance you was about that day, right? The thing is, Jesus was sinless, both by the written law and by the law of Moses, and they knew that. He was innocent across the board. So there is not a single other record anywhere in any history where a crucifixion victim, who also was a victim of the lashings, also was buried traditionally in a shroud with the proper burial rites, the body positioning, all of these things. Nowhere else is that mentioned ever except for Yeshua of Nazareth.
Irish Jedi is losing it right now as he listens to this thing. Irish Jedi he likes to do super chats and say,
yeah, he's readying up his super chat fund right now to blast us next time we go live.
Next
He's
Tuesday,
taking
guys.
up a couple extra paper route gigs so he can spend another saying unspeakable things. Yeah, it is interesting to me, that whole thing that even plays out today, and just the discussion of it, and with anti-Semitism and all that, which is just beyond ridiculous. It's like so complicated. It's such a complicated thing, man.
It is. So they did a carbon dating testing, and they also did samples from this, okay, through spectroscopal scanopy. I probably butchered that word as well, but sue me. Dirt was found on
we don't expect anyone to get any pronunciations correct. 2 out of 3 guests are retarded.
Hey, there's 2 of us here, so by
I'm actually meant 2 out of 3 hosts are retarded. Sorry, I didn't.
I was gonna say no. You're not wrong, dude.
No. Yeah, Xavier and I cannot spell or read, and Johnny's doing all the heavy lifting.
Yeah, a lot of heavy lifting,
and I'm on the spectrum, so it's we're all bringing something to the table.
I can't believe anyone listens to the show.
Dude, we are famously horrible at math, which really sucks when we start talking like ratios and statistics and stuff. We'll totally just throw out some number, and I'll listen back to it and be like, that math doesn't even slightly math. Holy shit. It's embarrassing. But anyway, there was dirt samples that were found around the feet, one of the arms, and on the cheek. All of these identified, again, to the road of Jerusalem to the 1st century AD. There was even pollen samples that were taken from what would have been in the air around that time. It was found that those were from the fauna of Jerusalem in the 1st century AD. Okay. Later, using X-ray, microfluorescence, and scanning electron microscopy, confirmed all of these results beyond a shadow of a doubt. This shroud, wherever it came from, absolutely was in Jerusalem in the time period that it was claimed to be.
Were these tests done during like that Discovery Channel documentary I remember watching a long time ago? Were these tests that were ran on that, or is that before or after?
So the first test that was done that initially made the claims about the dirt were from the 80s. This was later verified in 2002. I don't believe they rescanned. I think they re-verified the samples that were originally scanned. And I think that they saved those samples and scanned them again because they were not allowed to cut anything else from this shroud. When the Vatican gave them permission to do it that one time, they made it clear this is going to be one time. But the problem is that they only took it from one section. It was proposed that they would come from 7 different sections of the shroud itself from varying points so that they could get a median range for the carbon dating across the board. Not just that, but all of the readings of all of the samples. They were only allowed to actually carbon date, which means they would destroy it, one small corner of the shroud. So again, that leads to some controversy itself. Was this corner towards the edge of the fire that day? Did it get a little extra carbon in the pickup? Is it a completely clean sample, and what they got is what they got? And that's the thing. Nobody can correctly say without a shadow of a doubt, which is why the 7 samples were proposed in the beginning.
And also, whenever the shroud was burned and it was kind of like just flailing there at the bottom, they added new linen to it so that whenever this one specific sample from the Shroud of Turin got taken to, have scientific research or whatever done to it, they found that it was a combination of the new linen and the old linen. And that's why, whenever people came back and noticed, because they were saying, well, this has to be, the carbon dating shows that this has to be from the year like 1200 or 1300 or something like that, because they were taking an accumulation of the years and kind of forming it into 1 year. So if something happened back in 1 AD or 33 AD, and then something, from whenever after the fire, and then basically conjoining those two numbers, that's where they come up with the 1200, scientific reasoning as to where this could have come from and when it could have come from.
Guys, I want to tell you about our friends at Prize Picks. I love these guys. I've been playing it. It's super duper fun. You're picking whether a player goes up, player goes over, player goes under, more, less. Let me tell you about Prize Picks. Guys, football season may be over, but the action on the floor is heating up. Whether it's a tournament season or a fight for a playoff home court, there's no shortage of high-stakes basketball moments this time of year, okay? Get in on the excitement with Prize Picks. That's right, America's #1 fantasy sports app, where you can turn your hoops knowledge into serious cash. You can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Pick with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000 with NBA, NHL, and college basketball entries today on Prize Pick, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Okay, want to play along with some Prize Pick favorite players like Meek Mill and Sugar Shane O'Malley? You can now find community plays under the promos tabs of the app to view entries from the biggest names in Prize Pick community each week. Tournaments are here, which means the biggest moments in college basketball are getting closer. Be a part of the action on Prize Pick for both men's and women's college basketball. Prize Pick even offers injury insurance so that your entry stays in play even if one of your players gets injured. That's crazy. That's a game changer. For basketball games, if you had a player who exits the game in the first half and does not return to the second half, the player's projection won't count against you and the rest of your entry stays alive. That's amazing, okay? It really is. So here's what we need you to do, okay? I love Prize Picks. They were nice enough to set us up. We're playing all the time. And Johnny, I love basketball. And yes. I'm dominating in my fantasy basketball league, so I'm ready to take my domination information to Prize Pick and start winning big. Dude, we can even get on women's basketball. It's all there. So here's what we need you to do, dude. Download the app today and use the code TINFOIL for first deposits match up to $100. That's right. Download the app today. We did it. Use the promo code TINFOIL. We did it. And your first deposits match up to $100. Come on. Let's go, bro. Prize Pick. Thank you for sponsoring the show.
Now, again.
I mean, I'm so dumb. I'm just going to be, okay, I don't know. Yeah, sounds good, dude. Whatever year you say it is, I'm going to kind of believe it's that year. It's really complex.
Yeah. There's a lot of levels to it and a lot of potential of mishandling. And that seems to be a going trend with it as well, because even the story of where it come from kind of gets lost and shrouded in mystery up into a point. Okay, so let's talk about the history of it real quick. Now, there's a lot of stories and a lot of claims to how it got from Jerusalem to Turin itself. Okay, but this is the most likely chain of events that I specifically found. I'm not saying this is 100% truth. I'm saying it's most likely. Okay. Long story short, the shroud was taken by the disciples of Christ and made it to Antioch. The Christians, the original Christians, fled from Jerusalem and went to Antioch before the city fell in the siege of 70 AD, when the whole big thing, the temple was ransacked, all of that. The Christians had already made their way to Antioch. All right. Allegedly, the shroud stayed in Antioch until 1540, when the Persians sacked Antioch. The patriarch of the church actually made a deal with the Persians and said, hey, You can level the city, but do not touch the church. And as a matter of fact, that is the only building that was not leveled to the ground in the siege of Antioch by the Persians.
You just think about what's happening in Gaza right now. It's just the leveling. Just think about wherever you live right now, and every house is gone. And then you just be like, hey, okay, just don't hit this one building. You can knock out everything else. Just don't hit that one building. That is so crazy to me, what human beings can do to other human beings.
They were doing this without explosives. Keep that in mind. These dudes were motivated so much they were physically tearing down these buildings brick by brick to make
I
a
didn't
point.
even think about that.
Yeah. Just think, this is before cannons. They didn't have that. They may have had catapults, but that was about it. They leveled the entire fucking city. When the Romans took over that Carthage, and they went as far as to salt the ground so nothing would ever grow there again. You realize how motivated these dudes were to do that by hand? I'm just saying. Anyway.
Hate is a mighty fuel.
It is. And then we look at the situation in Gaza and you realize, dude, this area of the world, this is nothing new. This area of the world
gets into this thing that I've been saying forever, man. It's just like, I just think we live in a haunted house, and some places are more haunted than others, excuse me. And that it may turn for a little while, but it will eventually go right back to being haunted. And like, your job is not to change the haunted place, but to get out of the haunted place, to move to a not haunted place. That within this realm, that's why I think we're all born in certain places based on whatever the reasons we're here born. Some people think multiple lives, past lives. Some people think that, we're sent down to learn a lesson. Whatever that is, you're sent to a certain place. Some places are way more haunted than others. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
So the crazy thing is that there has been a lot of people that have been trying to replicate this image for hundreds, if not thousands of years, to try and prove its validity. And there's actually people nowadays that have been that have taken it and they're like, well, maybe it is some kind of light that was emanating from Jesus. And in order for him, whenever he escaped the tomb and he wasn't there anymore, even though he was, he had this shroud over him, how did he get out? And a lot of people will say, well, that was, for a lack of a better term, like his light body escaping. And so people, they'll try and play with the light a little bit and try and figure out, okay, well, if that was the case, what kind of voltage would Jesus have to exude from his body in order to imprint this image on this shroud? How would he go about doing that? And there have actually been people who have done the actual the voltage to try and see exactly how much voltage it would require for all that. It says, somebody said it would require 500,000 volts of electricity to produce a replica that would only be a few centimeters long. And if you were to try to replicate the actual shroud in its entirety, it would take tens of millions of volts of electricity to imprint that image onto the shroud itself.
Now, also with that image, keep this in mind. The image that you see, not the negative, the regular image, when you shine a light on it, it disappears. Now, what this means is there's no paints. There's no pigments. This is not soot from a fire. This is not, this is literally, it changed the atomic structure of these atoms to be a different hue, a different color. And this discoloration of the body only goes 2 microns deep out of 200 microns per thread. So it is only surface level.
So if you were to see it in person, you can't, like, if I'm like from the top, I wouldn't be able to notice it. Like it's like on the video.
No, you can see it with your eye, but if you took a flashlight and shined a light, not just even like some infrared or some UV light, just a regular light, the image disappears. Okay. That's why it's under the lighting it's on, so you can see it. What that means is that this is not something that was put on this cloth. This is something that transformed the actual atomic structure of the cloth.
Whoa.
So what could do something to that level? What could take those carbon molecules and restructure them to put off a different image or a different color like this, except for some type of high voltage in some way, shape, or form? We use that in industry to make chemical change happen all the time. It is absolutely not even like within the realm of possibility. It's absolutely plausible that that's what caused the discoloration.
So you guys have had on Santos Bonacci on your show a couple of times. I love that guy, and the way that he breaks it down, as far as the human body in how it kind of compares to what we're talking about here. He breaks down the whole meaning behind human, right? Like the human, it's the light body. Like it's the light being essentially. And so it's really not that far-fetched that somebody could project their image onto some kind of thing. And it's been documented actually, and we'll get to that after Jacob gets through, a lot of the theories as far as this goes. But I do believe that that Jesus knew how to imprint images of himself or other things onto some kind of material, some kind of floor. There's been documented cases where this has happened very sparingly, but it has happened before.
No doubt. No doubt.
Oh, it's happened in other instances?
Yeah, in very weird ways. But yeah, I'm not trying to take away from the story that Jacob's trying to do. So we'll get to that afterward.
The historical, how I got from there to there actually isn't that long of a story. I just kind of hit the spark notes of it. There's a little bit of some controversy, like I said, a little bit of some in the dark, some unknowns, but to the best of our knowledge.
Any other way.
Absolutely. So 540, the church in Antioch was spared. And then from there in 554, 14 years later, the shroud appears in Camuliana, okay, which is not too far from there. Now, this is the first time that a shroud with an image on it is actually historically mentioned. The Patriarch of Antioch, all he did was save the artifacts and the church. He never actually goes into specifics on what artifacts. But in 554, it is mentioned in Camuliana that they have a cloth with the image of Christ on it for the first time, actually noted. Okay. 574, as a matter of fact.
What was the day that the first time somebody said they got the cloth again?
554 is when someone actually wrote down that this cloth not only is just something special, but has the image of Jesus on it.
So what do you think was going on with it for those 500 years? Or no, about 500 years, right?
Well, the first Christian church set up in Antioch, and that was kind of the capital city of Christendom until the Roman Catholic Church was set up and Rome became what it is now, the Vatican, so to speak.
Shady.
It is. And then again, this is before even the split. So again, right here, it goes to Constantinople, which was the head of the Eastern Roman Empire in 574. Okay. And it stays there for years and years and years until the Fourth Crusade, when French knights during the siege of Constantinople, the elites of the city, they took it. The French nobles and the French knights, they sacked Constantinople, a Christian city, on their way to go and take Jerusalem back from the Muslims. They stopped at a Christian city and ransacked it. It was a big thing. And they took one thing that was a notable mention, so much so that the elites of the city even wrote a letter of complaint to the Pope himself, where they mentioned the French took the most holy image of Christ. Okay. And this is in 1204. So from 574 to 1204, it is believed that the Shroud of Turin was housed in the capital city, Constantinople, of the Eastern Roman Empire. From there, we next see the shroud in the village of Liry, France in 1353, and it's owned by a knight by the name of Geoffrey de Charnay, or Charney, however you want to pronounce it. I'm not the best at French. From Louisiana, but it's not that type of French we speak here. Anyway, in 1453, Margaret de Charnay actually deeded the shroud to the House of Savoy in Italy for 2 castles. She sold the shroud of Jesus for 2 castles. For this, she was excommunicated from the Catholic Church. The Pope was pissed about it, rightfully so. In 1578, Emmanuel Philibert, the Duke of Savoy.
Were the castles in LA?
Yeah, you would think so, but no, dude, French castles.
I'll trade them for 2 castles in LA.
Yeah, where were those castles?
No doubt, right? They weren't even that nice. I don't even think they're standing today.
Most castles probably at the time seemed great. Today, if they gave you a castle, and you would go to be like, it's freezing.
It's a money pit. It's a money pit.
Yeah. Everything is stone. It's like, get out of here, dude.
Yeah, I thought about that too. There was a plantation home around our house that actually came up for sale not too long ago. And I have no intentions. I ain't got the deep pockets to buy such a property, but just for shits and giggles, I looked into it and it's like, even if I was to buy this, as a matter of fact, my aunt grew up on the Myrtles plantation, which is seen as one of the most haunted places in America. Her family, her mom and dad owned it. She grew up there. For the record, all of the hauntings are complete bullshit. Basically, when you have a place like that, you have to get permission from so many different societies to even do the most basic of upkeep and repair to the building because it's a historical landmark. So it became an absolute money pit. They sold it to some people who sold it to some Hollywood people in the 90s. Next thing you know, the Myrtles plantation is the haunted capital that it is now. It's a fucking old plantation, dude. It's all it is. But anyway, like I was saying here, 1578, Emmanuel Philibert, the Duke of Savoy, actually ordered that the shroud be brought to Turin, Italy, where it has remained ever since. So the French nobility that took it from Constantinople housed it, and they just hosted it for parties. They actually let people come in and like kiss the shroud and touch the shroud, and it was a whole thing because they were just flexing, as rich people do. The House of Savoy are the ones that actually started cutting strips of it off and sending it to other royal people as gifts. And as I think they actually got permission at one point in time to send them as pardons for sins by the Pope. But then the Pope actually reneged on that and told him, hey, fuck that. But anyway, neither here nor there.
So the Pope didn't come and take it? At some point, they're like, okay, we're the Jesuits. Come in here. Guys,
so whenever the House of Savoy gave it to the cathedral in Turin, it at that time was seen as under the jurisdiction of the Catholic Church. So 1578 is when the Catholic Church claimed that they had complete control of it. And it's remained there ever since.
Is there a reason they haven't put it in the Vatican? Wouldn't it be a little safer at the Vatican? I mean, it just seems...
I think they're afraid to transport it, honestly, because at this point, like, look, dude, if we move it again, it's going to be a whole thing. There's ways that people are going to come and fuck with it. It's got 4-inch thick bulletproof glass that it's behind right now. I think they when it comes to big stuff like that, they just kind of want to leave it in place these days.
Well, also the Pope doesn't believe that it actually is the shroud of Jesus.
There's that too. The current Pope.
Right. Yeah. He actually has gone on record. He goes, yes, it's an ancient relic, but it hasn't been confirmed that it's Jesus. But, you look into this Pope and it's like, Jesuit and your ties and everything.
Yeah. I was watching a clip from Joe Rogan where they're like, now they got a cool Pope. I go, whenever you are given a marketing scheme about somebody that powerful, like they're just hanging out. Cool guy. Dude, cool Pope can roll a fat joint and smoke a fatty with you, right? He'll, it's just like it's
at
like
that point, like you just like you said, at that point, I don't want to smoke a joint with the Pope.
Yeah, well, you don't want.
I feel like the Pope could ruin that experience.
People. I mean, like a great example of that right now is this Prince Williams, right? Like, I mean, he was really painted as like the chill one, the conservative one. Now, like, his wife is missing. Nobody knows where she is. He's got side ass. There's some talk about him possibly allegedly smacking her around. I mean, like, that is completely opposite how we're sold, but that totally, based on my 51 years on this planet, fits into exactly how the process is. Sell you on how nice they are when they're really monsters.
Yeah, well, that's royalty for you anyway. I mean, they're always going to put out an image and make you think that they're a certain thing. And then really, deep within, there's some other shit going on.
I mean, we could even get into, I don't want to stray too far because I'm loving this topic, but if you really get into like the history of the Rothschilds with the royals and this kind of war they've waged, and there's just kind of talk that in the new world order of power, there is no room for royals. And now you see all of these royals getting murked, getting fatal diseases, missing, disappearing, quitting. It's just really weird, man.
Well, that's what World War I was, right? The monarchy of Europe had to topple. And the only way to make that happen is a massive world war. In the beginning of World War I, we had dukes and kings and all of that. What's that famous picture? The picture of 9 kings or 7 kings? And that was taken at the beginning of World War I. At the end of it, now we have the Republic of, the Democracy of, the Democratic Republic of, the whatever. they had to kill the monarchy, and the Rothschilds absolutely funded both sides of that war. As a matter of fact, we just did an episode deep diving on the Rothschilds from Mayer, the original homie, all the way to them now, which I think we actually know they just named David Rothschild to be the new patriarch of the dynasty because Jacob just died.
Congratulations, David. You know, you've been waiting. You've earned it.
Yeah, dude.
Scumbag. Hopefully he's as retarded as Soros's kid. Soros' kid gave one interview. He was so dumb. He was so
there
dumb.
It is.
Wow. I didn't know that they had a picture of all of them just hanging out right before World War One.
You know, those guys are all psychopaths, by the way. They're
all
their
cousins.
eyes. They're all like, okay, first of all, everyone's looking one way except for this one dude. He goes, World War One's coming. We're in trouble. But
yeah, he's the guy who knows.
When we talk about Mayer Rothschild, it's like what I've learned about these billionaires, and we could get into are they trillionaires, is that in reality, they're just all LARPs. And like, it's literally a Paul Bunyan type story about Mayer Rothschild. He was only 11 and he ran this giant investment firm. He was he was the Doogie Howser of that time. You're like, you're just total bullshit. I'm sorry. I'm sure there's facts that you could look up. Like the story of Jeff Bezos, just complete bull. Oh, just worked out of his garage and invented. Don't mind that his grandpa started DARPA. That had nothing to do with it. I believe none of these stories. And I get people yelling at me. They've told me that the emerald business with Elon Musk isn't real. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Just get out of here, dude. It's just because I don't know if you've noticed this, but all of these celebrities, at some point, they go on this fucking show called, Hey, Learn Your Roots. And they all like, oh, your family were slave owners or slave traders. And you're like, and today you're super elite on television. How does that all work out? Because you're just in. You were born. You won the lottery. You are an elite coming in out of the womb.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand when you say old money, what that typically references and how that old money was made. Hell, even I just got into this talk with somebody the other day. You ever heard of Mansa Musa?
I've heard of the name. What is that? Johnny.
Mansa Musa was a emperor of Mali, and he was arguably the richest man to ever walk the face of the earth. So much so that when he went on his pilgrimage to Mecca, he dumped so much gold because he was generous that he literally bankrupted Egypt because he gave out that much gold to the local inhabitants on his way to Mecca to pray.
Oh,
That's just how he rolled. Okay, here's the thing. Mansa Musa, being from Mali, how do you think he got the gold? Because that was only mined from slave labor up until, and arguably still today. So Mansa Musa, being the richest man that he was, the salt and gold that made him that rich was off of the backs of slave labor. Yeah, but nobody wants to talk about that.
It's the sales job. And it's just like, how many rappers talk about slavery in Libya right now? One, T.I. And look how crazy he went. Nobody talks about it. It's all bullshit.
It absolutely is. And people don't want to acknowledge the fact that slavery is still happening today, or the fact that 7 genocides are currently going down as we speak right now, or the fact that 13 open conflicts are actually popping off as we speak. Like, they don't want to worry about that. That's their problem, not us.
Yep, I totally agree on that. All right, so where were we? I'm all over the place. Where were we?
We covered what the Shroud is, where it come from, the historical precedents behind it, and the image on it. Now, let's talk a little bit about some theories as to how it was put up there. Now, also with the Shroud itself, let's talk about the images and the coloration. We know where the watermarks are from. Some of this water is from putting out the fire of 1537. Some of it is from the wearer of the Shroud, notably from around the head, around the torso, and out of the lung, which we do know that he was pierced on his side, releasing blood and water. So the fact that there is a little bit of that on the Shroud makes sense as well. The blood, when it was analyzed, it shows type AB blood. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that Jesus was AB blood type. Blood, whenever it deteriorates, 9 times out of 10 will not hold its original structure. So pretty much all blood, when left long enough, comes up to be AB. Now, maybe yes, maybe no. There are examples where the blood did hold and you could tell this person was O or this person was whatever. but 9 times out of 10. So very possibly Jesus was AB blood type. Maybe not. We don't know. Now, again, we talked about the image of Jesus itself, or the wearer, excuse me. Only in the negative of the image can you really see all the scourge marks across the body, or where you see blood on the face from where his beard was plucked. You can see where the nose obviously looks broken. One eye looks more swollen than the other. The scourging that was left on him, we could tell from the angles of how they're cut into the body that it was made by 2 different individuals, and that one of them was more than likely 3 inches taller than the other. Okay, so all this combined, there is, again, no other accounts of any other person throughout the course of human history that we know of at this time that received a lashing to that degree and was also crucified and given a proper Hebrew burial. Another point I want to mention, everybody brings up the rigor mortis conversation. Like, well, if Jesus died on a cross like this, why would he be like this? And how did they do that? They wouldn't have. It's not Jesus. All right. Real quick, just so everybody understands, rigor mortis is a temporary condition of the body. Okay, it only lasts for a few hours, and then you're able to move it. I mean, yes.
Oh, really? I never knew that. I thought you were stick a fork in you, you're done.
Well, think about like crash victims. They die in all kinds of crazy contorted ways, but these morticians are able to make them look semi-right in a casket. It's temporary, and you have to know what to do to make the body move. But again, certain people back then were allowed to do burial rites because touching dead things has to be done certain ways per the Hebrews and per the law of Abraham. So,
by the way, I'm currently fighting off rigor mortis as we speak constantly.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you guys are all young. You guys have no clue. How old are you guys?
I'm 31, but
oh yeah, you guys are puppies. You guys got 4 more years, and then we're around 35.
Rigor mortis starts much earlier than death. He believes it starts in your 30s. Yeah, your late 30s.
I think it starts around 35, and your body starts to coagulate. And if you don't keep moving and working out and stretching and drinking water, you get super stiff, and you literally cook on the inside. That's a new story, a new thing I heard by this woman. It's on Doom Scrolling. It's coming out. You basically cook. That's what happens. You're browning on the inside. Then when you get old, that's why you look like so
like a banana.
Yeah.
You know, I tell you what, I'm a Marine Corps infantry veteran, and I do armored combat for fun. So I'm telling you, my knees and my back.
What does that mean?
Absolutely fucked up. So me and my boys dress in medieval armor, and we beat the shit out of each other with swords and axes and cage fights. That's what we do.
Oh wow!
Hold on, isn't that a professional league now? There's a league.
I'm the captain of my team.
I was trying to convince Tom Segura that was the future of sports. I'm like,
dude, I fucking hope so, son. Let's go.
Yeah, let's buy this league, Tom. You're gonna spend most of the money, and then let's run this thing. He's like, I don't know, man. I'm like, look, we could be commissioner.
Look, there's somebody that's going to put some money behind it, because here's the deal. There is, as of now, no law prohibiting gambling amounts for armored martial combat fighting sports. I'm throwing that out.
That's the key to all sports blowing up. How much money can people gamble on it?
Yes, indeed, man. The Nashville team is the ones that host the professional league. I mean, I'm a part of the team, and we fight with international teams a lot. But
how many leagues are there?
Each country has their own different pyramids of who's and what's and stuff, but there's a bunch of teams popping up around the U.S. right now. Arguably, the best team is out of Dallas. The Warlords. They are a fucking powerhouse.
Oh,
then we have a big team. Yeah. We have a big team that comes
Johnny's
together
got a he's in fantasy league for that.
Yo, it's killing me.
Fuck yeah.
The Warlords. I didn't draft enough of them. They're killing me. Fucking Warlords.
I love it, bro. If I could do that shit, I would, bro.
Every year.
Oh no, it's fun as hell, but it's violent and it hurts. It's a lot of injuries, but I mean that's kind of what comes with the territory.
That's crazy, dude. That you do like fucking night fighting. That's so nuts to me.
Did you say what your team is called? I missed it.
We're the Savages.
Savages.
I found the Dallas Warlords.
Yeah, their Facebook page. We have a Facebook, but we don't really do much on it. It's only me and a couple of fighters because, again, we're in Louisiana. And that armor weighs 85
Here's what you guys gotta
and
do.
is a literal oven. And Louisiana is not a conducive environment to wearing an oven. You know what I mean? So it takes
you gotta
a certain
get a
level
trans
of crazy.
on your team to dominate the women. You gotta get one trans, dude.
There is one trans. There's one trans out of South Carolina currently. Yeah, that's the thing. Anyway, so as far as the sport goes, it's growing. But yeah, to answer your point about rigor mortis as well, dude, my back and my knees, I feel this. I haven't called it rigor mortis, but I'm gonna start. I'm slowly dying.
Yeah,
That's all it
dude,
is.
you don't stretch, man. You harden up, bro.
Absolutely.
That's the old people are walking like this because they never stretch their body. You gotta keep stretching. Do yoga. Do fucking, all
Absolutely.
sorts. Anyways, back to where we were. Sorry, guys. We went a
Back to
little
it. But
tangent
yeah,
there.
so that was pretty much it. I wanted to make the other mentions about all of the markings and all of the colorings on the shroud. Now, what caused the image? Jonathan, what are you at, brother?
Okay, so I have this other podcast. It's called Meta Mysteries. We get into a lot of the spiritual kind of psychic kinetic kind of weird things that go into it. But basically, we covered this one topic that's called thoughtography. And thoughtography was something that I had never really heard of, but I thought, it'd be an interesting topic to really get into. Thoughtography, if you look it up, the basic meaning behind it, it says it's also called projected thermography, psychic photography, nengraphy, and nensha is basically what it's known for over in Japan. But it says it's the claimed ability to burn images from one's mind onto surfaces such as photographic film. Yeah, there you go. By parapsychic means. So this has kind of been weirdly, and they see it as like a paranormal kind of phenomenon. And maybe it happens by accident sometimes, but basically back in the day, there was this dude, his name was Ted Sirios, and that's what you have pulled up right there. And he believed that he could project mental images onto a Polaroid camera. And there was a guy that really believed in this as well. He was there was this scientist, and he was like he found out about Ted Sirios, and he started doing a bunch of different cases. But basically, the basic idea behind it is the psychic photography is that you focus incredibly hard on an object or an idea, and then you transfer it to a section of unexposed film. This is the people that were trying to transfer it to like a Polaroid, like the disposable cameras. But some people say, is it actually possible to transfer a thought? A researcher at the University of Surrey in the UK, he believes that consciousness is nothing more than an electromagnetic field within the brain. And if that's the case, then moving a thought from this field to another group of electrons shouldn't be such a big deal. And it's also worth considering that film cameras expose via light, i.e. the electromagnetic spectrum. So this his theory actually seems somewhat possible. But as far as the thoughtography goes, where that meaning behind that word actually comes from, the term thoughtography was introduced in 1910 by this dude named Tamakichi Fukari. He was a Japanese psychology professor who encountered the phenomenon accidentally while working with a clairvoyant. He conducted some interesting experiments, but his work was severely criticized and eventually was forced to abandon his research and resigned his position at the university. The thoughtographic experiments did continue, however, in America and Europe. But anyway, getting back to this Ted Sirios guy, this was back in the 1950s. Ted Sirios sparked a renewed interest in this paranormal photography, primarily because of his photographs were produced in ways that ruled out the usual opportunities of fraud. But Sirios was apparently causing images to appear on the newly invented Polaroid system of so-called instant photography. Experimenters would observe him closely while pictures were taken, and then everyone could watch the print appear as the film was removed from the camera. So it was literally appearing from his mind, and he was imprinting these onto certain film. So anyway, a lot of people were like, I don't know if I believe in this. This seems like some circus kind of shit. Like, where's the illusion? Where's the trick here? Well, Sirios, he was in his mid-30s, and he was working as this elevator operator back in Chicago in a hotel. And he began to experiment with hypnosis. And during this period, he found that he could produce images onto a film. At first using an ordinary box camera, and then eventually onto a Polaroid film. And then after several years of demonstrating his apparent gift to various people and some research in the Chicago area, he came to the attention of a Denver psychiatrist and psychical, whatever researcher. This guy was named Joel Eisenbud. And from May of 1964 until June of 1967, Eisenbud supervised thousands of these trials with Ted Serios. And a lot of people that were observing this, they were scientists and academics, and some of them were even like experienced conjurers. The trials yielded around 1,000 anomalous Polaroid photographs, the entire collection of which now resides in a special collection section at the library at the University of Maryland in Baltimore County. It says Eisenbud, the researcher, the scientist, he reported that he reported all this research in his book called The World of Ted Serios. But basically there are 400 images proving that this guy was able to do this just by putting this camera up to his head and having a deep thought and it imprinting onto film. That's what, this whole book was really about. So I thought that was an interesting, thing to look at whenever we're talking about the Shroud of Turin. But then, anytime we're talking about anything like this, you got to bring up something that maybe Nikola Tesla was talking about, right? So Nikola Tesla, he had this quote and he says, and he was talking about, kind of in a roundabout way of this thoughtography kind of stuff.
And who is this? What's his name? Ted Soros or Ted?
Ted Serios. It's Serios. Ted Serios. And he seemed like a bit of a nut job. I'm not going to lie. I did a lot of research behind this guy. Supposedly,
this guy, right?
Yeah, that's the guy. And he was supposedly like
he looks like he's training Rocky, doesn't he?
Yeah. Well,
he is thinking so fucking hard right now, bro. Look at him.
Thinking so hard.
Hey, dude, it worked. But he was a bit of a deranged nut job, and that's what even the scientist that was there to kind of witness all this. He said that he would have to get out of the room, so many times because Ted was just a raging alcoholic, and he would get real pissed and one of those angry drunks and everything. But Ted, in his mind, he thought that he had to get to this state in order to impress an image onto said film. So
that's every artist is like, I got a party to be creative. That's every artist.
Yeah, dude, it's wild. But anyway, so Nikola Tesla, this is, back in the day with Tesla. It says his quote is, "My idea was to employ an artificial retina receiving an object of the image seen, an optic nerve, and another retina at a place of reproduction, both being fashioned somewhat like a checkerboard, with the optic nerve being part of the earth." So he was kind of talking about it as well in a different kind of way, but also just trying to imprint an image of your thought onto something else. So, but yeah, and then there's also, I wanted to bring this one up too. There's this case over in Spain that happened, and this is probably the most prolific one. If you guys want to look up this picture, it's called the Belmez faces, Belmez faces, and it is absolutely wild. So there was this household, and they kept on noticing all these things, these images that were appearing on like the concrete of their floor. And they were like, at first you would think, oh, well, they're just seeing faces. That's not what's actually there. But the people kept on noticing that every day this picture kept on reappearing. And sometimes it would even reproduce. They would scrub the floor and try and get rid of it, and it would go away. But then the next day it would reappear. And this shit just kept on coming in. And a lot of people will say that the woman, the mother of the household, it could have possibly been from her conscious mind. Maybe she was remembering a past life. Maybe she was remembering something in the dream world. But essentially, it's some of the most wild things how this could have happened. And it's, this was back in 1971. The woman,
this is nuts.
Dude,
this is
crazy.
Nuts.
Just appearing on the fucking ground, dude, in their house.
Dude, that is crazy. One is like a little baby. with full head of hair. I mean, dude, it is this is nuts. Wow.
And they did a bunch of research over there trying to figure out, all right, is this some kind of illusion? Is somebody trying to make money? They're trying to get people over their house. You know, what kind of charcuterie is happening up in here? And it kept on reappearing. And so they did all these scientific tests to try and see, like, all right, what is this? And they found also, one of the craziest things about this story is that they found human remains underneath the floor of this house.
Oh my!
Could have been buried on top of some kind of burial ground. So there could be some kind of paranormal shit going on here, and it is maybe projecting its consciousness and making
that's exactly what I was thinking. If it was buried underground, it imprinted it into the concrete. It's literally it put its thought into the concrete, and every time now it comes up in the concrete. I don't know, it just sounds crazy.
Dude, so many. There's just more and more faces, man. Wow.
The Native Americans believed that once so much blood was spilt on a certain spot, that area of the earth was infected with that person's soul. So what if this isn't a burial ground? What if this is like a murder scene of like a group of people from way back in the frontier days or whatever, of whatever area of Spain, whatever that time period was, just a ransacking. These people just got buried where they were, and now they're coming up because that much blood was spilt in that earth. Dude, who knows?
Well, here's the crazy part about it. The crazy part about it is that the people that were actually living there, they were scared shitless of this thing always appearing, as you know, maybe most people probably would be, you know, scared shitless. And so what they did, they tried scrubbing it. They tried pouring all these different chemicals to try and get rid of it. They even went as far as to break up the foundation, so to say, of the house, the cement floor, and they repoured new cement, and the fucking faces kept on coming back with new cement.
Wait up. Is that why they have these different dates on them? On all these? Is that why there's like different dates?
Yeah.
It won't leave? Like, look, it says
on coming back.
72, 74, and 04 and 05.
Wow.
It's insane.
Oh, wow. It's becoming more prevalent. Look at that. It's coming more out of it the longer it's there. Holy shit.
Yeah, and
dude, look at that one. Look at that one. That's a woman's face. Wow.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And this is it. They did so many experiments to try and see, like, to try and prove, like, what is this? And they went as far as, like I said, you know, cutting up or breaking up the cement, pouring new cement, and then
crazy.
They would seal up the room for 3 months. Like, all right, well, maybe if we just remove ourselves from the situation and nobody goes into that room for 3 months, maybe they'll just disappear, because maybe somebody is just trying to play a trick on us from the other side of the veil or whatever. Right? They came back after 3 months. Those faces they became actually even more clear after 3 months. And so that's just a weird thing that happened. And also the number of faces on this property, they increased after they excavated.
Yeah.
So it just kept on getting weirder and weirder. Right. And so, yeah, I wanted to give that kind of an example because it's a little bit relatable to what we're talking about with the Shroud of Turin, about how Jesus was able to imprint. But here's really where I wanted to get really weird with it. So Jesus, we all know, I mean, there's a lot of missing years whenever it comes to the documentation about Jesus Christ. Okay. And a lot of people will say that maybe he was involved in some of these mystery schools, right? Maybe he learned how to do a lot of this stuff through all of the ancient mysteries of the mystics and the magi and stuff like that. That's a possibility, because you think about it. He healed the sick. He raised the dead. There was remote viewing. Supposedly there's a story about him, or not remote viewing, remote healing, rather. There's this story in the Bible talking about the centurion that asked Jesus to heal his daughter. And Jesus told the centurion to go home. And whenever he got home, centurion found out that his daughter was healed miraculously. Okay. He was able to walk on water. He was able to control the wind. He was able to command the animals and he was controlling all the elements. I mean, if we take the story at face value, right? But here's a crazy thing is that every single picture that you ever see of Jesus, there's an aura around his head, right? Like there's always some kind of mystical aura around him. So where exactly did he learn all of this stuff? Because he was clearly some kind of enlightened. Some people may say maybe he was a sage, maybe he was one of the newer magi's or something along those lines. So where did he learn all this?
He was also always white. Let's keep that one in mind as well.
Always white? What do you mean?
Every time you see him depicted, he's white. He's got a halo, but he's also a Caucasian dude.
Yeah, it's never a Jewish guy.
Never one time.
Dark skinned Jew. Yeah.
Sure. But I mean, did he have a possible connection with the Magi that were teaching him all these things? He was gone for 20 some odd years from the Bible. I mean, you hear about him whenever he's a little kid, and then you hear about him in his final years. But where the hell was he in all those years, right? I mean, you'd think the savior of the world. I mean, you'd have documented research of, I mean, I could see maybe skipping over a year or two, but to skip over 20 something years and there's nothing about him in the Bible.
Well, you don't think the Vatican has that in somewhere in there in one of those books, those lost years? I think, like you said, if he's so important, they have those books. They're just not for us to read.
Oh, I'm sure. And there's a lot of books that were left out of the Bible. There's a lot of things. I mean, you travel across the world and every single country, almost every single city in every other country has a story of Jesus that nobody's ever heard of. And talking about how he traveled over there and he traveled over here and he traveled over there. And it's like, all right, well, why don't we hear about these things? And so here's the crazy thing, and this is how I want to kind of tie all this together to the Shroud specifically. So there's this thing that's called, have you guys ever heard of the Mandylion?
What?
It's called the Mandylion, Mandylion. And supposedly Crusaders were fighting for this for centuries. And it's believed that it was a cloth to be imprinted of Jesus's face. And some people say when he was going up to the cross, someone handed him a cloth to wipe his face. And some people say that cloth that he wiped his face with, that maybe that could have been the face imprinted on that cloth. Another story would be that he was baptized by John the Baptist, and then Jesus went to go wipe his face, and his face could have possibly imprinted there.
This one?
Yes, exactly.
Now, historical precedence to this, at the top left, that image of Edessa, this is a part of the controversy of the Shroud of Turin, because apparently there were two cloths that were claiming to have the image of Jesus. We have the Shroud of Turin. This one is lost to the sands of time. No one knows where this is allegedly. However, there was a claim that they had a cloth in Edessa that had the image of Christ's face on it, but the story of where that came from and how it got there is even more lost in mystery and convoluted. What? He said, she said. So there is, in fact, a historical precedence to this claim.
Right, and people will say that, I don't know, maybe the Mandylion actually is the Shroud of Turin. The reason I even look into all this is because I believe that Jesus was some kind of enlightened, understood being as far as all of this, his very spiritual nature. And, like I said at the beginning, he said that we would be able to do all these things and more. Now, what exactly did he mean? That's up for debate. But I would like to say, or I would like to think that, well, I mean, this dude turned water to wine. He was able to walk on water. He took a tiny little loaf of bread and made it to where it was thousands of things. I mean, if this is something that can be learned, and I kind of, I don't mean this in a cocky way, but I think that there is a possible way that we could learn how to do these things. And you look at a lot of these ancient mystery schools. Why were they so shrouded in mystery? I think there was absolutely a reason. And then you look at the Vatican, everything they've been trying to cover up. How many books were left out? How many are canon, so to say, in the Bible? I don't know. I'm just saying that if there is a way for this to be proven, and if there is a way for this to exist, then we should probably look into other cases. And that's kind of where I went with it.
Well, I loved all this, man. This was an absolutely banger episode. Nothing but bangers, bro. That was an excellent episode, guys. Love that you guys came on. You knocked it out of the park. Super interesting too, dude. I love all this stuff, dude. This is my jam. Little mysticism, little Christ, little everything, hidden history, all that stuff. touch
And dude, I
on
love the
all-
timing of it. We're talking the Shroud of Turin right before Easter. That was a happy accident, but it all lines up, brother. We don't believe in coincidences on our podcast.
The Lord works in strange and mysterious ways. One more time, guys. Tell Jonathan, Jacob, tell them where they can find you.
So we're available on all podcast platforms anywhere. We're the Cult of Conspiracy podcast. Also we have we're on Patreon and Rockfin. Anybody will be able to search our podcast. We'll also be able to find those links as well. We have a bunch of great guests on and talk about a wide range of topics, just like you guys do on your show. And yeah, I mean, thanks so much for having us on, man. This was an absolute pleasure, and it was fun kind of doing the research for this one.
We loved it, man. This was a great episode. You guys knocked out of the park, and hopefully we'll have you back on sooner than later to talk again. Thank you, guys. All right. Enjoy this breakdown of the episode. All right. What'd you guys think, man? I loved it. I thought it was like a perfect episode.
It came in hot.
Yeah.
They came in hot, guns a blast.
It's always great to work. It's always great to record with other podcasters because they know how to keep it hopping. You know what I mean? Pick up where the other guy stops talking, and they know their shit.
If you're listening here and you want to come on the show, which we love to get as many people in. I don't know if you've heard this, but there's a conspiracy now that I'm a gatekeeper, and that like I am your passage to the higher levels. It's like unbelievable.
That's stupid, dude.
That people just take anything that is kindness and try to warp it. You're just trying to help. You want to have interesting conversations with interesting people. And if along the lines, you can pull some people up, help them get some views, help them get some love, that's great. Not everything has to be like nefarious, right? It can't be just like, hey, dude,
honestly, it makes me doubt when I've heard that about other people. Now that I hear it said about people I know are just trying their best and living their life. You know what I mean? It makes me doubt it when I've heard it about other people now.
I wanted to talk on Broken Sim a little deeper, but somebody said I'm a gatekeeper at the Comedy Store as well. Like you do comedy chaos.
If you were a gatekeeper at the Comedy Store, you would be gatekeeping yourself in a lot more than you are
I'd be like, hey, why don't you put me on the lineup 1,000 effing times?
And Sam,
unbelievable.
And Sam, and you've
we're recording. No, we're recording. Are you nuts?
Hi, Johnny.
We're recording.
Hey.
Okay. We're recording. What'd you guys think of the episode?
Oh, no, I was gonna say that you
just dropped in.
I was gonna say you're completely. I don't know how you're gatekeeper when you've made people. Like I don't mean it like that.
Well, that's
but
what gatekeeping is.
Oh no! You started a podcast.
Actually, you're hurting the case here.
No, you started a podcast where you didn't know this person. She retweeted you, and then all of a sudden you have her on here, and then she becomes someone on
Yeah, that is podcast. Gatekeeping. Thank you. You are the worst lawyer ever. You're the worst lawyer. Your Honor, I would like to fire my lawyer right now. Okay, I didn't know that
did Sam sell the officer cocaine? Yes, he did. But
he only sold it to him because he wanted the cocaine. What is wrong with that?
But okay,
but
so
did
I
he
thought
think the officer was really
up.
hard up for cocaine? Yes,
I thought gatekeeping was you're stopping people from getting big. Then how you
No. Well, that is a part of gatekeeping. Like in gatekeeping is in like the UFC is like you gotta get past this guy to get to the highest levels.
Yeah.
But in talent, they're called gatekeepers because they decide who comes through.
Based on traits that the higher ups above them
which is the dumbest fucking thing, because even though my lawyer was trying to defend me when he's talking about the human vibrations, she had no followers and she had an interesting story about John Bonet.
Yeah, and you made her. And it was great. And that's what I meant. That to me is
I just have interesting conversations, and then the fans decide. It's just so dumb. Like just helping people. My own lawyer isn't helping.
And you're not even. I mean, it's not even. I mean, it's to say it even that way is not quite right, because it's not like. I mean, we wouldn't have anybody on that we thought would not be entertaining. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we're having people on for our benefit too. They're bringing. It's not like we're lifting them up and turning them into something they weren't already. If we didn't think they were good, they would not be invited on the show ever. We never invite somebody on just to do them a favor.
Dude. And I just love this topic. I hope I didn't throw it off by saying the other half looked like the devil, because it does. I'm sorry. That looked really weird.
Did you? Yeah, that was funny. Can I just show you really quickly that statue? This one thing I was talking about. Look at how weird this is, dude. This is just in a park.
Yeah, why is that
Look
in
at
a
this.
park?
You got this there.
Pan,
That's Pan.
Pan
It's Pan, and then these like really skinny, like a family and a dog, and they're all reaching out for something that's not something in the. They're naked, first of all.
And why hasn't that dog eaten in a while? Look at those ribs on that dog.
None of the people are. Yeah, they're all really super thin and just. And Pan is clearly motivating whatever they're doing. He's kind of like playing them along. It's bizarre.
And you said you couldn't find anything about it. You're telling me on that statue there's not a little.
Yeah, I mean, no, there's like online. It's it's called a statue of Pan, and you can't really. I mean, it's just I don't know. It's strange. And then there are all these like here. I'll show you a couple. Just one more picture. There are these inside the Louvre, which is an old palace. There are these images in the architecture that are, I mean, the only way I can describe them is disturbing. Let me show it to you here. This is the crowd around the Mona Lisa, by the way. You can't get close to it. See all these people? It's just a bunch of Asians taking selfies with the Mona Lisa. But look at this. Look at this. Like this, there's a lot of like babies with being attacked by things.
What is that thing?
I don't know. There's some kind of like giant what would you say, like a mite or something. Yeah, like a tick, a giant
tick. And that
tick.
kid is shredded, by the way.
And then look at this baby wrestling with the demon goat god or whatever. Like, and it's just all around. This is really high up, like on the walls.
There's some ugly ass babies back then.
And yeah, weird, dude. Weird stuff, man. There's another one right here. Like, what's this guy's face?
Yeah, what's this guy doing?
Creepy, and this lion thing.
That is creepy, dude.
A bunch of creepy shit in the art, dude.
So what's your guys' thoughts on the Shroud?
I like what you said, how we're like so many episodes deep in there, but we still found a topic. Because I have seen documentaries on this, like little bits and pieces, and I'm glad we went deep down the tinfoil hat rabbit hole and actually literally, because over there it's just your typical Discovery Channel documentary where it just talks about the basics, and we went a little bit more deep. That theology thing was cool. What do you call it? Theography?
Yeah, theography. Yes,
I think that was it.
Yeah, I love the episode. I thought it was great.
Yeah, me too.
I find it mysterious. A lot of people wanted to say that Jesus didn't exist. Jesus is my savior.
It's funny because the people who say that, I mean, even many of the greatest skeptics of the Bible in academia will concede that he existed. Like, that's not real. If you're a fair player, that's not even up for debate, really.
Yeah.
So somebody's kind of dealing dirty if they say he didn't exist at all. That they either are dealing dirty or haven't examined the facts.
Yeah, it's just like, you know what? It makes me feel better, so I'm just gonna run with it. All right, it makes me feel better. So, guys, real quick, I want to tell you, since we were going to be in studio, but I have to grab my kids today. So I want to thank my boy Justin Friendenson. He's from EMF Rocks, and he sent us a bunch of these EMF bags.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I was going to give you some today. And then this is really good to put. These are great to put near your Wi-Fi. So
now, does your Wi-Fi work worse if you put those near? Like, does it fuck up your Wi-Fi? Because I need my Wi-Fi to work.
No. Well, we're gonna have Justin on very soon to discuss it. That's EMF Rocks. Go to SamTripoli.com. We have all these wonderful affiliates. I love them. We're going to be adding some more affiliates. I have some really cool people that were asked if we can get in on the affiliate program, and I'm like, yeah. So if you go to SamTripoli.com, you go down. First of all, t-shirts. Check out the t-shirts. The t-shirts are on fire. Okay. SamTripoli.com. New t-shirts going up all the time. New styles, new ways, new everything. Great way to represent part of the Swarm Army. I got some new ones coming up. Then go back to SamTripoli.com. Okay, I want to go check out the affiliates. Go check out here we go. The affiliates program. First of all, Rockfin's on fire, putting up three to four episodes across the board, whether it's one Broken Sin, which we'll get back to, 3 tinfoil hats, 1 conspiracy social club. That is 5 episodes a week for the most part on Rockfin and that's just my stuff. Then you got everybody else's stuff. Okay. So you go there. That's rockfin.com. Then you got Cash Daddies. Okay. We got Cash Daddies. That's patreon.com/Cash Daddies. Check that out. Look, we're up. We're up. Did you see that?
Woo!
Yeah, look at that. Boom. Boom, boom.
Are you guys still doing that one? All y'all still doing the 1,000?
Listen, I'm giving out scholarships at this point.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not.
What do you mean?
I want the full value. There's no free.
Call SamTripoli. We'll do a little under the table around Johnny. Okay.
How dare you?
Buy gold and silver. Got my silver today. Go to buy gold and silver. Go to samtripoli.com.gold and get on that. Who knows what's going on with the monetary system? Grab your gold, grab your silver now. I'm always buying gold and silver. I buy it every day. Every day I go there, click the banner, go back one. And then Rife Technologies. Everyone's loving that. Really great way to get your energy right. All right. Get rid of all that negative energy. We love that. Matt, he crushed it. Aqua Pure Hydrogen Brown Gas is great. And then our good friends at Harley Ray. All right. Go if you love crystals, you love sage, you love candles. They are the best in the business. We're honored to work with them. Then, of course, my favorite supplements. I'm about to go have some right now. Chemical Free Body, Tim James. I'm addicted to his supplements. I can't recommend those enough. I just can't. So go back there. And then finally, my boy, Joel Staley, hitting the gym, hit it last night. People asking, Sam, why are you getting so shredded? It's because I just got to do what I got to do. Bro.
Why? Why are you?
Why? Well, dude, I'm getting ready for the apocalypse. I'm going to be fighting fucking illegal zombies everywhere. Sorry, Xavier. Okay.
You're going to fight my cousins?
Yeah, dude. Well, if your cousins fuck around and find out. All that on samtripoli.com. Anything else, boys?
Actually, guess what, guys? I'm raffling off my Honda Civic in West Covina Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You can buy a ticket at George Press Stories West Covina show. I'm raffling off my Honda Civic for $30. And if you have my number or you follow me on Instagram, I can sell you a ticket for $30. But it will be raffled off at the next George Press Stories episode. It's a Honda Civic. Sam's been in it. We partied in it, not like that, but we've driven in it. So it's a good car, right, Sam? It's a good car, right? For someone else.
Nice car. It's definitely a $30 value car for sure.
Exactly.
You can make it happen.
Just past smog, it'll run.
Yeah, you can. If you win the car, you can at least double your money on selling it.
Yeah,
at least
for sure. For sure. Anything else? Hey, every Tuesday we're back at Johnny. Where's the live? Johnny's was on the road, so now we're back.
We'll
this
be back
Tuesday coming up will be another TFH live. People are loving that. And then every Thursday, 3 p.m. doom scrolling exclusively on Rockfin. Anything else, boys?
We'll be back on. We'll be back with Broken Sim next week too. Get ready for that shit.
What, Dana? What's the big announcement?
Something else.
Okay, Dana wants you to know we have a big announcement on April 3rd. All right, guys, enjoy these highlights.
Here's a clip from the latest Broken Sim.
What do you think the percentage of who do you think has more female listeners, us or Scum and Kick It?
Well, we do by numbers. They do by percentage, probably, because the ladies love Scum and Kick It.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Do they? The ladies love it.
If there's one thing women
love, one person.
Yeah, the lady loves. Patricia loves Scum and Kick It. If there's one thing women love, it's to scum and kick it.
Yeah, they just love it. It's just their fun time.
In fact, I lost so many girlfriends because I had a little scum, but not enough kick it. That was my problem.
You got to have Kick It.
Yeah.
You got to have Kick It.
Which one of them do you think is scum and which one is kick it? Do you think?
I think the other guy's Scum.
Yeah.
And I think, that's nothing against him.
No. But
and then Kick It is definitely,
yeah.
Because that's all XG wants to do all the time is kick it.
XG. Yeah, he almost kicked it on while we were recording tinfoil.
Yeah, he's almost kicked it a couple times, just dozing out, going to sleep.
That first show though, like 2 weeks ago, dude, he had a face like he was in pain.
Like, yeah, you can see when he's gone. He's had a long day.
That was the one where he was a
long
few minutes
night
late.
or early morning. You could definitely see that.
He was fine by the second show, but that first show, dude, I think where he was like 5 minutes late. I think he had like a rough night.
Johnny, when's this coming out?
I would love for it to come out Monday,
All
Tuesday,
right,
something like that.
dude. Thank you to everybody who came out to the awesome filming, taping, recording, whatever you call it, of
wrong button.
Kick It. I mean, no, of Quiet. Why is
everybody getting quiet? Okay.
I was looking for this. Okay, yeah, great show.
Thank you. A lot of fun. 2 shows. We'll see how it cuts up. I want to put out 2 of them. So here's the final name of my specials. Here we go. Ready?
Wait. Okay, so I thought it was Quiet.
No, it's Quiet, but it's broken. It's like Kill Bill. It's broken up into 2 parts.
So it's obviously Quiet Part 1 and Quiet Part 2.
Part 1 is Holy Roller. Quiet Part 2 is War.
Just War.
Now,
are you gonna have it that way, or is it just gonna be? Is it gonna be like Quiet Part 1?
Yeah, it's gonna be
Holy
Quiet. Roller. Why is everybody getting quiet? Part 1, Holy Roller.
A lot of words in that title. Where is Sam Tripoli? Sam Tripoli's. Why is everybody getting quiet? Part 1.
Welcome to
Holy
Sam
Roller.
Tripoli's. Why is everybody?
Welcome to Sam.
Welcome to Sam Tripoli's Quiet. Part 1, Holy Roller.
That's a lot of words.
Hey, dude, who cares? They're just there. No. In the title, it'll just be like Quiet Part 1.
Sam Tripoli's Quiet. Yeah, I guess your name in there.
Yeah,
people know what they're getting.
Yeah, or it will just be like, it's quiet.
I like that. I like wars, but war is cool. War. Is that what were some of the other things you were tossing around?
Weirdo.
That's funny. I like war though.
Well, the first one's gonna be weirdo. Then I'm like, because I talk about how I love Jesus and I do jujitsu, so I'm a holy roller.
That's funny.
I'm excited. I'm excited, Johnny. I'm in a good mood overall. So I want to say thank you.
You
to
sure
everybody.
were in a good mood parking just a few minutes ago.
No, I was not. I was not happy, and I yelled. I didn't yell, but I got, hey, where is it? Then this poor guy who's like cleaning up the office building, and I'm gonna tell you something. I have a lot of respect for that man. I am a guy who since I was a young man, I respect anybody who works an honest job.
Yeah, me too.
I respect it, dude. So I go, hey man, who's parked in the middle? And I thought it was the maintenance guy. This guy comes out, he goes to move the other car. I go, oh, dude, no, I thought it was this guy. I'm so sorry, dude. So then the other guy came and he moved it. And it's just like, I would normally not tell them to move it, but there's literally no parking anywhere.
And I am now illegally parked because of that. So.
Johnny, we will get a GoFundMe for you to pay for your parking ticket.
I don't think they'll get us at night.
No, dude. So listen, going to be in New Jersey this weekend. I'm in Hotep Jesus's his very special Grifties Awards. I'm hoping I'm not winning an award, but we'll see. Maybe I will, and I'll accept.
What are you doing there? Presenting something?
Presenting.
Do you know what it is?
Nope.
Just go on.
I'm just gonna go up there and go, give it up for this guy. He won, or her, or she, him, or whatever. Shim.
Anybody ever accept those awards?
Oh yeah, Alex Stein did.
Oh, what did he get?
I think he got Grifter of the Year.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not an honor.
That's how you own, but you own it. You gotta own it.
He's been killing it, by the way.
Oh, dude, what he did to that Dallas mayor is just fatality.
And did you see
Johnny, do that funny voice real quick.
Okay.
Ready?
Okay, hold on.
You know what he did to that Alex?
Fatality. You know?
Did you see too? He showed up at this Plano, Texas, their board of commissioners or whatever with a Trump impersonation. Have you seen this?
Anyway,
we'll play it later because it's hilarious.
So I'm going to. It's going to be Flagstaff, Tucson, El Paso.
Flagstaff is beautiful.
Flagstaff, Tucson, El Paso.
When I drove out to LA, I drove through Flagstaff and it had just had a big snow.
And then I'm announcing I'll have it up.
Oh, Plano, Texas. That's where Alex Stein was doing
Yeah,
his
he's
thing.
been by my show before. Then by the time this is out, it will be up on the website. March 30th, I am going to be in Florida doing joke joint. And the first show is going to be for the comic book Chaos Twins. I'm doing a signing, and then we're doing a stand-up show. So we're getting in, we're getting out. Bang, bang, pow.
Bang, bang.
Let's go. Bang, bang, pow. I'm going to make that shirt now, too.
Bang,
the bang, bang, pow shirt.
I like that.
Bang, bang, pow. And then, I got some more stuff. So I'm happy. I'm very upset, though, because Instagram will not let me advertise, and it really just hurts my job.
What do you mean they won't let you advertise?
That I can't advertise. I've tried over and over and over again.
What, they just say you're not allowed?
Yeah, they just somehow they know who I am and they won't let me advertise.
So strange.
It's so strange.
What about Facebook?
Nope.
Same, because it's same deal.
Yeah, they just won't let me, and it makes.
You try Twitter?
Twitter I can, but does it work?
I don't know. I mean, Instagram ads are the best. I feel like I find myself clicking on Instagram ads more than any other. They seem to
sucks. I'm
have
sad.
you figured out.
I'm just sad. I'm a sad man. I'm a sad man.
No one knows
what it's like to be a sad man. Let's get into some stuff. Have we talked about
Behind Blue Eyes?
Okay, let's get into something funny happened to me.
Okay.
So I got called by a buddy of mine, Justin Silver, who is a really great guy.
I like that name, Justin Silver. That's a cool name. Is that a stage name or is that his real name?
I think that's his real name. Guess what his ethnic group is?
Justin Silver?
Yeah, I guess.
Well, I mean, I would say white.
Jew.
Okay. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean, that was a joke, Johnny.
Yeah, well, it probably was Silverman, right? Or Silverstein
Silversteinowitz?
or something like that. Yeah, I bet he shortened it up.
Justin Silversteinowitz-Berg?
Semitic in origin.
Yeah. I remember one time Steve Byrne was trying to do jokes about that, and then the room just got quiet, and then he never did it again.
Yeah, you can't do it.
It's just like, hey, dude, I've been talking to some people, and those people are myself. And I was sitting there going, it's kind of crazy, right? That the top three, in terms of standard of living groups, are Asians, including Indians, Jews, and then white people. And out of those three, let's say four, if you include Indians in with the Asians, which they do, 3 out of those 4 people are just all pinatas for comedy.
That's in America, though, right? Like
in America. Yeah. Pinatas for comedy. And then there's one that's crying about everyone making fun of them now. So it's like super hilarious.
It's also the only one that's based on a religion, too, which is curious.
Oh, Johnny, I'm with you on that. So anyways, Johnny, Justin Silversteinowitz-Berg, my good friend, he's one of the premier dog trainers and one of the best comics out there. Super funny guy. He invited me to do a show down in Venice Beach. And it was at this place called the Townhouse, the Venice Townhouse. And it's a gorgeous stage.
Venice Townhouse. Let me check
it's downstairs, gorgeous. If someone could buy this, it's the perfect comedy club. If you had to open a comedy club, this is what it should look like. Low ceiling, small room. You could blow it out. It's great. If I had a butt ton of money and nothing less than a butt ton, okay, I would go and buy the Townhouse and turn it into the West Side's.
I have a feeling I've been to a show here, actually. A little music show.
It's downstairs.
Yeah, I think I've been there.
You're probably going to see one of those gay bands you loved as a youth.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, as a youth. Yeah.
As a youth. You were really into gay rock as a child. Okay?
That was, boy, was I into it.
So gay.
Oh, my God, was I into it.
So gay. So anyways, I end up going to there, and, I'm getting ready. I'm on last, which is fine. I'm always last. I used to think that means that nobody wants to follow me, which sometimes happens, but it's also like politically, I'm the easy, I have the least amount of cachet in some of these bigger shows, right? It's just the way it is. Who's gonna be stuck last? I'll throw Sam there. He can handle it at the end of the night. I'll just scream at everybody. But
you wouldn't want to go on too early either. That's also not chill, so that's kind of respectful, right? Yeah, I'd go in at the end. I think that's kind of like
in Hollywood, it's you want to go early because the crowd's hot and you can get out. Going last, it's like the last guy in a gangbang. You're like, oh, this is sloppy.
So if you could pick a spot to go, where would you go?
Okay, if I could tell you, Sam, what's your favorite spot in LA? My favorite spot is 11 p.m. in the OR. if the show starts around 9 p.m. It's probably the best time to go.
Cooking, everybody's
It's cooking.
drunk. Yeah.
They got their fill of their like corporate comedy, making the girls laugh, and then bring out the savages. And you're the beginning of the savagery. You're not the end of the savagery.
People haven't completely started talking yet.
Yeah, they're not like too sloppy, and they're not like looking at their watches. Okay, where are we gonna go? So that's perfect. So you don't want to go too early. You don't want to go too late. But if you go, hey, which one would you rather have? I'd rather have. Well, it depends on what I'm working on. You know.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
If I'm working on new bits, I like to go later so I can fail in dignity and nobody knows. I got a set that I want I like, I'd like to go early. Get in, get out. So anyways, I'm going last. It's great. I love it. It's a great show. Everybody's really funny in the show.
Yeah.
So Johnny, I have to take a piss. So I'm like, I got to pee.
Happens to the best.
So the show's going on. I'm not till late. I'm going to go upstairs and pee. So I walk up the stairs and I go to where the bathroom is. Now, after COVID, they've totally redesigned the place for the most part. They've really gotten rid of the entrance is just the entrance and the exit's different. So they've also changed the hallway to the bathroom. So I go into the hallway to the bathroom, which is a long hallway this way. So I look down the hallway and I see there's a woman entering a door. So I go, oh, that must be where the female bathroom is. So I'm gonna go in this door. This is the male's bathroom. And I walk in and there is a chick in the bathroom just on her phone. I go, and I freeze.
Sitting down?
No, she's just at
Okay.
at the sink. I like, did I go in the wrong bathroom? She goes, no. I go, why are you here? She goes, it's a unisex bathroom. I go, what? Okay. She goes, yeah, both. And then this girl goes, totally, oh, you're a boomer. Let me explain this to you. And she proceeds to explain to me how the unisex bathroom works. She goes, pee-pee, poo-poo. You go pee here. These are urinals, and this is where you got to sit down. I go, why are you here? Like, why are you here? And I go, what they're doing by making unisex bathrooms is they're taking away man's final safe space. It's the safe space for men to just go and blow out their beeholes in dignity. I mean, Johnny, how many times you walk into a public bathroom and you just hear shotgun blast going on?
You could,
everyone's
more
like,
times than not, really.
Like, keep it going. Good job, buddy. It's a safe space for us. Well, we can just release the Krakens out of our beeholes and not have to worry about it. And now we're going to have women in there. And why do we want women hearing us blow out our beeholes?
To me, it's the other way around too. I don't want to hear women doing their business.
Yeah, ladies, you don't even want us to know you take poops. Now you're gonna be in the same room with us.
Fuck that, dude.
That's so bullshit. And then, dude,
I love that she explained it to you like a child.
100%. And then, Johnny, the funniest thing is that have you ever been in a woman's bathroom?
Yeah, they're much nicer than men's bathrooms.
They're nicer, but they're dirty. They're dirty, dude. Have you ever seen like a stripper's locker room?
Well, that's a different thing, isn't it? Yeah, but yeah.
I'm telling you, dude. I used to run the bathrooms. I used to be in charge of like the doors at the Comedy Store, and you'd have to go in and throw out all the paper towels. The woman's bathroom was always way worse.
What do you think that's about?
Because that's kind of their place. You know what I'm saying? Women are going to listen. I don't want women coming in to our bathrooms and messing them up. Bring your filth down to your own bathroom. Clean up your own, mess up your own bathroom. Throw paper towels all over the place. Have that box full of blood in your bathroom.
They do use a lot more tissue than we do.
Oh, they do all the time. And it'll be all over the place. They
blood
don't care.
Everywhere.
Oh, it's just gross. And now we're losing our own little safe space, our sanctity city. What's it called?
Sanctuary city.
Yeah.
Sanctuary shitty.
Yeah, that's what we're learning, dude. It's just absolutely nuts to me. So then I go on stage, and I just I'm bad like Venice, and I don't see the world the same way.
Is it woke down there too?
Oh yeah, it's where all the rich kids. It's like it used to be even worse. But now a lot of them left because of these stupid policies.
I thought Venice was kind of cool.
It used to be great, and now it's just like a homeless factory, and it's just like, and now somebody said, will you look this up? Is Gavin Newsom, is the state of California giving out interest-free loans to illegal immigrants? I mean, do you think that's real?
It sounds ridiculous.
So it sounds like it could be real.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds ridiculous. He's probably doing it. Let's see. This is from AOL.com. I don't know. What does that mean? California could allow undocumented residents to qualify for new state-backed home loan program.
It's
from February 26th. A California lawmaker is leading the charge to make undocumented residents eligible for a popular state-backed home loan program. So there's a lawmaker who's not, it's this guy, Joaquin Arambola of Fresno, Democrat, Fresno. He's introduced legislation, Assembly Bill 1840, that would expand eligibility for California's Dream for All program, which uses a, quote, shared appreciation lending model.
I love that.
While undocumented immigrants have bought homes using lending programs that bypass the need for Social Security numbers, the bill would make home buying more accessible for many. So it sounds like it's our wonderful state government.
Yeah, how about making it more accessible for people who are citizens of California? I mean, like, what are we doing here?
It's so stupid.
It's so stupid.
This state is dumb.
It is. So, Johnny, I was going to, I had a great weekend recently with my kids. I was going to go, by the way, did I tell you the time that I was driving back? I was flying back, and I think it's Delta. That's just really great with movies. They give you free movies to watch all the time. It's like, God bless you, okay? Thank you for giving us a little something.
Yeah.
So, did you know that The Equalizer 3 came out?
Yeah, I did actually.
Did you watch it?
My dad watched it, and I was like around.
So, Denzel Washington's getting into his fat phase, right? Where he's fat fighting.
He doesn't need to be doing more equalizers,
Yeah, dude, we're good. Yeah. We're good.
Yeah. Unless the equalizer is some kind of fitness equipment, he doesn't need to be messing with it. You know what I mean?
We do not need you go to Steven Seagal route.
No, there's a reason Liam Neeson stopped doing Taken movies, and it's related to this.
You hear that he's gonna do Airplane?
Like a remake?
No. Liam Neeson's gonna do who was the actor who did what was the actor that did Airplane and did
Leslie Nielsen?
Yeah, what were some of his famous movies?
Naked Gun. He did.
He might be doing Naked Gun.
Police Squad.
No, go look up Liam Neeson. Naked Gun. I think they're gonna have him do it because
I loved those movies as a kid. Dude.
Oh, dude, they were so funny. They're so funny.
I would love for that to be true. He's doing Naked Gun reboot set for 2025 with Liam Neeson set to star.
And some
That's
people,
funny, dude. He could do that.
Yeah, well, some people brought up some of these projects that he's done on his own, where he has like really great deadpan, like kind of delivery.
Well, dude, that's what. And Leslie Nielsen came out of straight acting. He was like a real Hollywood guy for a while.
And then he just found this thing and just went with it.
He was great at it.
Yeah,
dude. He was so good, man.
It was so great. Did they ever bring back Fletch? Which I thought was great, or they tried to.
Yeah, they did with was it? It wasn't
Ryan Reynolds, was it?
No, it was John Hamm, right? Wasn't it? Yeah, it was John Hamm.
Yeah,
it was supposed to be good, actually. It was supposed to be. I didn't see it, but I heard it was good.
Do you think a comedy can make it into movie theaters anymore?
It would have to be. It was called Confess Fletch, by the way. And yeah, 86% Rotten Tomatoes. It was well liked. Yeah, I do, but it's got to be like a. It's got to have a huge star, like a huge star attached to it.
We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Tinfoil hat.